The other thing that they have to worry about is staying in the top 10. So the Drivers' Championship, the way that it works in the Rwagnation League is those that are in the top 10 get to go automatically into the next season. Those outside of the top 10 in the end of the driver standings, they are the ones who have to fight for their position in the Rwagnation League. I really don't know how this is going to pan out for him, because starting on the soft, he's the only driver in the entire grid that's starting on softs. And he did an insane lap on those softs. But he's going to have a miracle run to be able to pull this off. If he goes for one stop, we're talking softs to hards. That's the only way he could do it. And softs to hards is not easy to do on this track. But it's time to do or die for Nicky. We are now on the grid, ready to go. The lights are on. As soon as they disappear, we're going to be getting underway with the Hungarian Grand Prix, and immediately we're seeing them get away very quickly, very cleanly. No one is gaining anything here. Nicky has managed to pull away beautifully. We're seeing a McLaren come flying around there, trying to do the McLaren flick on one of the Mercedes. That's actually Martin G, who's alongside Lemon now in towards turn 1. Martin G has claimed a position, working hard on Mizzo and Buemels. Mizzo's coming down the inside now into Martin G in turn 2. He's got the position done. Mizzo's getting caught out by the pace of Lemon. He's not worked out at all, but Lemon has hold on to P2. Mizzo is P3, Martin G P4.
Yeah, great start from Nicky. He's already half a second gap in just the first couple of corners, so he will be happy with that start. We got a yellow flag. Who is that? Let's find out. It looks like it's Racebug. Racebug went round on the medium tyres. That's not what you want.
No, really not at all. But yeah, look at the pace that Nicky's chucking down. We said he had to pull away and just run off now, and he has done that. 7, 8 tenths now, and we've not even completed the first lap. That is exceptional pace so far from that McLaren. My concern is how long can he hold that up? And if he when he does eventually pit, because he's going to have to change tyres, he hasn't got a choice about it. What tyres does he go on to? Does he try the 2-stop? And if he does try the 2-stop, I mean, is he going to go softs, mediums, mediums? Is he? I just don't know if he can deliver that amount of lap times throughout the entirety. 1:23.4 is the first lap time, and already the gap has got quite extensive.
Yeah.
Ahead of everyone else. And sadly he can't do that. Oh, Bird almost runs through the back of Copy. He's kept it together. But look at the front runners. Lemon, 6 tenths now is the gap between him and Nicky. Nicky's tyres have dropped off massively now. Lemon is in his comfort zone. But Bird is currently attacking Copy, sorry. Copy is actually stuck now. There's not really much he can do about this. I mean, Bird's got the outside line. He gets a little bit out of shape there. Runs wide, gets himself back onto the track very swiftly. Contact further upfield, looks like, because Lemon's made a mistake. He's really off the track. Did you see what happened? Buemels is actually looking for an opportunity on Martin G now. Look how close they are. He's going to be pushing him really far to the outside line. Buemels going to have to do a similar thing that Brownie did, unless he can get a cutback, which he's trying. He's got the line through it. Here he is now with the DRS and the ERS in mode 4. He's going for the really hard option, which is going around the outside in towards turn 2. Martin G's got the tight line, but if he can keep alongside of him towards turn 3, he might be able to snatch this from him, and he has, but he's had to back out. 1 second, Nicky's gone for the move. He's alongside of Just Chilling. Very quick to play a factor. Now, has he kept himself within DRS range of Mizzo? He hasn't. There's 1.5 seconds. He's lost a fair bit. Temperatures will be soaring, but here comes Yonte going for a move down the inside, and Yolte's also looking for it as well. Just Chilling's come across them. They're actually touching side by side throughout. Martin G has managed to get past Yolte. He's not gained on Just Chilling, but that was... Oh, Just Chilling's ran deep. Martin G's coming down the inside. He's going to be looking for it in the run in towards the chicane. He's actually alongside of him. He's got the full car ahead now. And Martin G gains that position given the situation of his tyres, but he is running seriously wide in almost every corner as Yolte comes slick and shotting it down the inside, gets the move done. Open, he's going for it now in the run in towards turn 1. This is an opportunity for him. Gets it done. No issues there at all. The situation's going on further afield as Yolte and Lemon are also battling as well. Yolte almost lost the position to Lemon. Lemon says, no, that's it. I'm going to be coming for you. I think he might have actually gone down the inside. Here he is. Look, going for it in towards turn 2. That was a very ambitious attempt there from Lemon. I mean, he's got the position back for P5, but Yolte was just kind of pushed out to the side. You've also got Nicky fighting with Brownie here, and he's not going to hesitate to go for a move if he can get it. A little bit of frames there. There's also position changes going on between Yolta and Brownie. They're 4 wide now, coming through. Nicky's trying to get involved. Brownie's gone into the side of Lemon, but it's just sent him a little bit wide, nothing more. And Brownie's now up in a P5, still scrapping with a P6. This is getting insane on the second to last lap.
Yeah, this is getting crazy.
Brownie's gone. Brownie's gone. Big contact between the two. He's actually rotated Brownie completely. He's lost out big style there. Feeling the pressure, Brownie, but not as much as Lemon's going to be feeling it. He's going defensive down the inside in towards turn 1. Look at the Nicky coming in for it as well. He can get it, and that's actually going to be him charging out of the turn 1, trying to get alongside Yolta. Yolta might lose out here instead of gaining. He's going to try and fend off Nicky as much as he can through the run-in, but if Nicky gets the outside line and holds on, he has, Nicky will gain that position. Yolta gets sent off wide. Yolta doesn't get a penalty for it, but Yolta will gain the position on Nicky due to the penalties.
Couple more corners to finish.
Oh, Nicky! Nicky sent Lemon! Nicky sent Lemon. Lemon's gone really wide. Yolta's come straight down the inside of it. He's not worried about that at all. Yolta's gone flying through. Nicky felt bad and says, I'm sorry. Go through again, please. But Yolta's gained on both of them. He's up in a P5. I think he has less penalties than both of them. But we will see as Mizzo's crossed the line and Buemos takes the win. He's deserved that one from the beginning. But now Mataji's crossed the line. Yonti's not going to gain that position. Has Yolta got enough to gain it? Lemon and Nicky are actually scrapping as well. No position changes, although Lemon jumps up to P5. Nicky falls to P7, and actually Nicky falls even further because Brownie gets P6. Holy hell, that race was mental.
That was a ridiculous race. Loads of action.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in Belgium. I'm Ben Raggy McConnell, and joining me on the caster's desk is the legendary Kai Bacini. How you doing?
I am doing absolutely beautiful, Ben. How are you?
I am fan-dabby-dozy because this circuit is one of the best circuits to grace us on the circuit, and you've got a ton of drivers to race on it. Here are the standings. Mizzo leading it with 175 points, and Nick Turn taking second with 138. Then Yonti, Buemos, Martin G, Copy, Yon, Yolta, Brownie, and just chilling, rounding out the top 10. But look, 8, 9, 10, 38, 36, 35. The top 10 are the ones that get through to next season with no issues. So remember, it can easily change, especially with the fact you've got Lemon, who's pretty fresh into this. He's already 33 points in. Maester, 31 points. Then you got Beaker, and then you got Gooby, Rainbow, Blue, Nicky, Racebook, Bird, and Marco. There's your the top 20. But there's still an opportunity, still easily able to get yourself into the top 10 if you haven't already. So you've got to absolutely find every bit of time you can get and nail it through. And now here's the constructors. Remember, prizes are still given away to the constructors, as Mercedes is going to be topping that currently with 276 points ahead of Williams there in second with 201. Then McLaren, Haas, Renault, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Toro Rosso, Racing Point, and Red Bull. So still tons to go for, but this is the track they're going to be targeting today. 19 turns, 4.3 miles in total. Obviously you've still got the soft, medium, and hards. We're looking at the C3, 2, and 1. But look at that elevation change from turn 4 to turn 5. Obviously that's known as Radion. And then speaking of which, is going to be the action you're looking for, as we saw in European Racing Series. Saw Duxby B, Spicy, and Mark all giving it everything to fight each other, and it ended up being Duxby B who held everybody back. Now the bus stop chicane, the final two corners. You've got Dan and Asher Boys here again, European Racing Series. They were scrapping right the way up to the entry, and they held it all the way around, but it was indeed Asher Boys who managed to just keep himself alive. And here we go with the hot lap. So we're on board with the one and only Yonti, who is obviously driving in the Haas car. Here he comes up towards the first corner. Very slow corner, you like. You've got to get down, but you need to make sure you get the exit perfect because you have the longest run ever as you come into a slight little kink here. Now towards Eau Rouge. This little left and right now up to Radion. And now a super long straight. The Kemmel straight all the way up towards Lecum. As you can see, it's going to be a long DRS straight. Tons of overtaking opportunities. Remember, the slipstream is going to be massive, so make sure that you brake just as you see that board on the right-hand side. Get down to gear 4. Turn in and then get the exit just right. Don't run too wide because this is, again, another corner where it's just a bit awkward because you're going a bit downhill and you don't want to be running too wide. You've got to brake really hard to make sure you get into this right-hander. Make sure you don't run wide again because it's that bit cambers quite hard and you can run seriously wide. Make sure you cut the corner just nicely. Get on the curb just about. Get on the exit curb. Run deep as you come up towards Puon, one of the most legendary corners on Formula 1. You want to lift off a little bit, downshift on your hot lap at least, but when it comes to your race pace, you may have to do it a little bit more than just that to be able to do it. Now coming up to the right-hander, it's a little long chicane if you like, because you've got long right there and a long left following it up. As you come up to now the double right-hander, and this is going to be the final sprint, if you like, to the end of this lap, because this is the big opportunity. You come towards Blanchimont, which is a bit further ahead. I've seen many cars go sideways as a result of getting on the curb on the inside, which you're going to see in just a second. Coming up right now, this is when you can't touch. If you touch it, you will absolutely rotate your car. But if you're going too wide, it's very hard to stay too wide. Get into the bus stop chicane, brake on the 100-meter board. Make sure you get on the inside curb there. Don't run deep. Make sure you get it nice and tight on the exit. And then power it on home all the way to cross the line. And hopefully put yourself on for a podium. Now, we are in for the qualifying session. We have lost a driver already, so there's a possibility we may have to re-host. I'm not sure if we will or not. We'll keep an eye out. But Kai, obviously you can see that Bird is not here. He's meant to be. He's the 20th driver. But what's your top 3 prediction for the end of qualifying?
That's a difficult one, because as you said, the 2 people at the top of the constructors is Williams and the Mercedes drivers. But all 4 of those drivers are absolutely rapid. You've got Copper, you've got Nixon, you've got Martin G, you've got Lemon. It's hard to take your eyes away from those 4 drivers. But if I had to put them in a top 3, I'd probably say Nixon, Martin G, and Lemon. Not in order.
Yeah, okay, fair play. I'm kind of with you. It's such a hard one. And Martin G has been really good. Since forever, but we can't ignore Nicky putting on pole last week. We know that he did it obviously with the soft tyres, and he was the only driver to actually go on the soft tyres and deliver. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself the question of, like, does Nicky have the pace to be on the same tyres as everyone else and still put himself on pole? His lap time in Hungary was phenomenal. I'm not going to take anything away from that, but you know, his race strategy took a massive hit as a result of that, and that really knocked him down quite considerably. I do think that we are sort of looking at more towards Lemon being on pole today. Wemmels is someone else who has just absolutely nailed it. Really, really impressed with him. Obviously, he crossed the line first last week, a very well-deserved crossing of the line, but a penalty due to a contact he had with another driver meant he did end up losing the win in the end anyway. But ultimately, you know, still shows he has the capabilities to be on the front step. So, can't rule him out. Going to put him in the top 3. Don't think he's going to be a top step today. I am actually going to go with Lemon P1, Meister P2, mine GP3. Oh, wait, actually, no. I'm going to tweak it just slightly. Same 3 drivers, but Lemon P1, mine GP2, and then Meister. But we have Endictor now on out lap right now, going for the first hot lap of the race. Let's see how he takes turn 1.
Yeah, it will be good to see these drivers battling, because you said we have Mercedes decently far ahead at the top, and it looks like he has Copy in front. So will the Mercedes driver, the Williams driver, sorry, be looking to give each other a tow? Copy, is he on a fast lap? No, he's not. He's on his out lap. So it does look like Nickton is going to get a tow from Copy up into the corner down the long straight, which will make like half a tenth to a tenth difference, especially down that straight. It can be critical if you want to get it on pole.
I am absolutely amazed at how well executed they do. I mean, we've seen them do that on many of occasions. Not necessarily for the last few races, because there's not really been an opportunity for you to do that. But here in Belgium, he came out of the pits, literally just drove out the pits at the most exact perfect time he needed to in order for that tow to be as optimized as possible. And it was completely optimized. At Nickturn gained so much out of that. I think it's actually more than what you think, Kai. I know you think it's about half tenth to a tenth. I actually think if you do it right, like they just did, you're looking at around about 3 to 4 tenths. That's just how much time you can gain from that one tow. The only worry I do have is that they executed it so perfectly but so early on in the session. We've got 14 minutes and 15 seconds remaining now, and that is, you know, great that they were able to pull it off, but they need to do that again when it comes to the final push if they want to be able to see themselves on the front step.
Yeah, and we've seen them do it perfectly once. Will we see them do it perfectly again? And Nixon looks like he's just done a solid lap there. Let's see the time, 1:42.5,
wow.
and that's very, very quick for early on in the session.
I mean, the track hasn't even evolved yet, and we're seeing 142s. And just as a reference point, obviously with the toe as well, and Nick Turn is 142.510 as the fastest lap. Then you have Jorn come across the line, who's not slow by any stretch of the imagination. Did a 143.3, so a good 8/10 difference between the two. Mason's obviously cross the line done 143.4 as well, so he's doing pretty well. Honestly, that's if he can carry that pace into the race. Obviously, I'm not necessarily saying doing 142.5s every lap for the race pace, no, but you know, having a relative pace. Oh, Beak almost hit the wall. Having that relative pace there into the race would just be tremendous for him.
Yeah, if he can be consistently doing lap times that are slower than that, maybe 2 or 3 seconds slower, he would be laughing in the race.
Yeah, he would be all the way back home just giggling and saying, not even slightly close. But Yonti, you saw him do the hot lap earlier, is now going to be coming around the final corner to chuck himself across the line. Is this going to be a 142 or is it going to be 143? Goes 143.342, 3,000ths of a second faster than Jorn. But still P3 as it stands. Do you have plenty of other drivers out there as well? Buemel's actually just jumped up and nicked that P3 spot away from Yonti. As Buemel's now sat there, 143.028. Lemon is the only other driver so far to have got into the 142s. Wave Martin G, he's actually backed out of his lap. Not sure whether or not he's going to commit again now. I assume not. No, he's not. Into the pits.
Yeah, and we said that Addicton's on blistering pace, but Lemon's not that far behind. He's on a 42.8, which is only 3/10 off. 3/10 off, sorry. So I'm pretty sure we will see a close pole position.
Oh, it looks like the Williams boys managed to do it again, but the other way around, as Copy gets himself into the 142s as well. 142.969. Copy's actually someone who has severely improved his pace just recently, and he's obviously destroying that now with a 142.969's good time to be holding back everyone else with. Still got a few other people on hot laps. Bird's actually coming in now. Gooby's done a lap on those mediums. He's about to do another one. He did invalidate his original lap, so he's not actually going to have that one counted. But it's interesting that he's gone out on the mediums. It tells me that he's just wanting to get a bit of time in and go for a soft push later. Does also tell me that he doesn't quite have enough softs that he feels comfortable to be able to do more than a few runs.
Yeah, and that's interesting because normally on a track like this, it's easily softs to mediums. Don't even have to worry about it. Normally, you'd see drivers doing as many stints on the soft as possible.
Yeah, interesting. The other thing to mention, actually, I've just been informed, the race is going to start with wet conditions. So it does explain why all the drivers are out there on softs, Bar, and Gooby, and Yolta. It does make me think that neither of them know it's... Because obviously they're in the same team. But it makes me think that neither of them know we're actually going to be having a wet start. So the other thing to think about is those that are setting 142s may have actually gone for a full dry setup. Everyone could have potentially gone for a full dry setup because we only know that it starts with the wet conditions. We don't know if it's going to end after a few laps from wets to dries or not. But this is actually going to be, if we do have a wet start, this is going to be the first wet Grand Prix we have had in the Rwagnation League. And in this season of the Rwagnation League. We've had a few, obviously, in previous seasons, but yeah, it's going to be mental. And Nickton's already out again on another outlap.
Yeah, he's like pushing straight away. Comes in, comes out. He's only going to be able to do 2 in this stint and 1 more till to fit in the session.
Alright, so Nickton on an outlap. Nicky's done 2 laps, done a 142.879. Don't think that was with any sort of toe. We do have Mizzo on an outlap, Yolta and Bird also in the same scenario. Maester's there as well. Now, Meister has actually... So, Team Alpha today, both Meister and Just Chillin' have actually got a very fast racing drive. In fact, one of the fastest racing drivers to ever graced F1 2019 in Hypers, giving them a good jeffing. So, hopefully they can pass some of his skill on to them. We might be able to see a good showing from them. Obviously, we know that Meister is outside of the top 10, and Just Chillin' is literally in the 10th spot. So, it's good stuff for them, but if he can get that knowledge and experience passed on to these two drivers, we might actually be able to see them get some incredibly good points and bring themselves, both of them, into the top 10 and potentially secure that as we come towards the later stages of the season.
Yeah, that would be great to see the two Saubers. We've seen them improving throughout the season, but it would be great to see them in the top 10 battling for maybe even top 5. And I think we will see that by the end of next season, maybe start of next season if they do come back.
Potentially. We got Just Chilling though out on a hot lap right now. He's obviously still sat in mode 5. Did make a mistake. I think it was turn 8. It was pretty rough there. It wasn't as great as he would ideally liked, but I mean he's still committed. He's not backed out at all. He's back and just give it a little bit of a kick out there. He's not the only one out on a hot lap, but he does have a little bit of traffic up ahead. I don't think it's going to be anybody that's his teammate of his. It does look like somebody's on an out lap. Yeah, look, just staying very clear out of the way. That's Blue very kindly jumping out the way there.
The one thing I've noticed is Just Chillin's sat in hot lap mode for that whole lap.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world for him to do that. I mean, yeah, you could get a bit more time on the Camel Straight. But I mean, as it stands, he's done a 1:43.477, and he made mistakes. So bear that in mind. He's if you look at from P6 right down the way, we're still within a 10th. P6 down to Just Chilling, it's a 10th. And only a bit further than that, you got 2 tenths. They're still really, really close. So even that one little fix there that he made on that lap, he could improve dramatically. Whereas a Nick Turner, he's currently out there at the minute, quite far on in the lap. Oh, he's actually cut that corner a little bit tight. I'm not sure if he's going to get away with it. Oh, he got away with it. Okay, we're good. So we'll see what a Nick Turner can deliver then.
Yeah, and if Just Chilling can tidy up that corner and maybe gain a bit more on the straights, he can definitely be like P5, P6 today, saying if the times stay like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, to be honest, as track evolves, and I think as Just Chilling feels a bit more confident about his lines and about his race pace, I do think that Justin will actually be able to get further up there. Yonti and Yorn have just swapped places. Here comes Nick Turner, goes faster than he did before with a 1:42.393. That's half a second clear of Lemon, who's currently backed out of his hot lap. Where is Martin G? He's on a hot lap right now still and very committed. Mode 4 I saw there for a brief moment. He's doing the runs. Let's see where Mizzo is. He's coming up through Blanchimont now. He's actually got a car ahead of him. Not necessarily going to give him the tow, but hopefully that car doesn't get in the way if they're just starting hot lap. That's Lemon. He's jumped right out of the way. So good heads of driving there from Lemon. Here comes Mizzo to finish the lap. Yeah.
Mizzo currently hasn't set a lap, but he goes up into P3 with 42.875. Only 400ths of a second off of Lemon in front. But watch out, Martin G is going to cross the line in a second. Let's see what he's able to do. First gear gets a little bit sprawly on the exit, but he's going to cross the line and it is going to be P2.
1:42.764 is just phenomenal. Obviously still 4 tenths off of a Nick Turn, but that's I don't know if a Nick Turn got a toe on that lap, but considering how much time he had improved earlier, I do think he will have got another one. Buemos is actually just coming to the pits. I decided, nope, this is not the tire I want to be going on right now. I don't feel right about my lap. So resetting himself. Copy out on a out lap. Well, I say out lap. He's on a hot lap, but he's backed out, so he's not going to be going again. Nicky just started. Mode 4 now in the run-up towards Eau Rouge. I want to see how cleanly he takes this, because this is such an awkward corner to take as fast as possible. You do obviously want to stay flat out, but he made it look so simple, so easy. Clearly, I'm missing the trick there.
Yep. I think quite a few of us are, including me, because he just looked like that corner wasn't there.
Yeah, it just cruised on by. Where's Brownie at the minute? He's coming up to the line. He's going to be the next one. He goes 1:43.169, which is not that fast there from Brownie. He's got pace. We know he has, but today he just doesn't. Nicky on a hot lap still. Only person actually on a hot lap because Copy's backed out, repositioning himself for another run. Oh, big slide out there from Nicky. Committed to that one. That's got to be invalidated, surely. I mean, I've just seen him go to mode 4, so maybe not. I think he's staying all the way through this.
Yeah, and if I was in his position, we had that massive slide, would have lost quite a bit of time. If I was in his position, I'd dive into the pits, go on a new set of tyres and get out for that final stint.
So I've been informed that Grandpa, or Brownie, is currently running a wet setup. So he clearly feels that the track is going to be too wet at the beginning of the race. Everyone else seems to be on dry setup, so it's a gamble. It's a definite gamble there from Brownie. If that pays off, Brownie will win this race, surely. But, you know, that's the situation you got to think about. A wet setup versus a dry setup, it's such a risk. But if it pays off massively.
And Nicky must have been listening to me because he comes into the pits and he's going to prepare himself very quickly for that final stint.
Well, we are now at what I like to call the calm before the storm, which is all the drivers in the pits prepping themselves for that final push, choosing the tyres that they're going to be using to make the hot lap on. In normal cases, they'd be using the tyre that they want to actually start the race on. But as we know that it's going to be a wet start for the Grand Prix, we know that the tyres don't really matter here. Everyone will be starting on fresh tyres. Everyone will be starting on whatever the tyre condition be, whether it be intermediates or wets. But it is do or die time for everybody out on track right now. Everybody who's ready for it. Currently, Gooby is on a hot lap.
Yeah, but the question is, will it be wet enough to go onto wet tyres? We saw that in my league race. It was raining, but the game thought it was dry enough for dry tyres, which it was, and it wasn't wet enough for inters. Will it be dry enough to just stay on those slick tyres?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously we don't know the full weather report, but the sounds of it is going to be a very wet start. So I do think we're actually probably going to be sat on wet tyres, but obviously we don't know yet. We need to wait and see until the race actually starts. But yeah, you're right. You know, there are many situations where the track is still, you know, dry enough for you to use dry compound tyres, but wet enough for it to be a nightmare on them, to be just literally like you're driving in oil. It's just so slippy, and especially on a track like this. I actually drove here. I think it was on Monday, just gone. It was a very rough race. It was wet the entirety of the Grand Prix, and I struggled. I couldn't stand how hard it was. Well, we both were in it. It was just such a difficult one to do.
Yeah, it's really difficult conditions, especially when it's not chucking it down. Oh, and Meister hinders just Jillian's lap. They did collide, the two teammates.
Oh dear. That's not good at all. So, I mean, just Chillin's staying committed. I don't know whether or not he's just doing that so he can get around the track quick enough. He's got plenty of time. Everyone's on outlaps at the minute. I don't know if it affected him that much. Was it a side-on hit or was it a head-on hit?
Head-on.
Oh, that would have affected him.
Out of Eau Rouge, so he would have lost so much of momentum.
Yeah. And I think ultimately he has to reset now. He can't afford, really,
he is.
to commit. Yeah, he knows now. So good. Good driving, good heads-up knowledge there from Just Chillin'. Definitely had to back out of that one. I think they tried to mimic the Williams toe. It just looked like Meister got it wrong. Because ultimately, obviously, the chasing car is fully reliant and fully trusting on the car ahead in order to do that. And if either driver makes a slight mistake, then you've had it. It does make it difficult, but with everybody being on outlaps, there might be more traffic than the drivers are used to. This could work out bad for some drivers.
Yeah, and Copy and a Nickturn are swapping positions, so that tells me that a Nickturn might be giving Copy a tow this lap.
Potentially. I mean, we do see them return the favour quite often, but this time it's a Nickturn who went out on an outlap and backed out. In fact, a Nickturn might actually play this smartly. If he sits behind Martin G, he could benefit from the tow of Martin G all the way down the Kemmel Straight. The difficulty he's going to have is that there's a very good chance they're going to be battling come the end of the Kemmel Straight. When they come to Lake Coombe, it could easily be scrapping, and you definitely do not want that. You're asking for trouble if you do try that.
Yeah, and you can see loads of drivers trying to get the run onto straight, and not much of a gap between them. So they all go onto the exit. Copy from Nickturn, and then in front of him is Martin G, and then in front of Martin G is Lemon. So we have pretty much the quickest drivers in the league all together going for a hot lap.
And it's going to be so exciting to see how they go for it. We've got Gooby and Brownie have obviously finished their run here. You got Gooby's going to be finishing P16 at best with a 143.629, and then you got Brownie in P11 with a 143.169. So not the fastest. Mizzo's goes P4, 142.875. Doesn't look like he could improve, and Nickton's backed out. And Nickton's backed out because he gave Copy the tone.
That's good teamwork from the two of them.
That's risky, in my opinion. And Nickton has sacrificed his one hot lap, like his best hot lap, where he could get the track at its most greenest. He completely sacrificed the entire run for his teammate. I don't think this is actually a better love story than Titanic.
Yeah, except for they're not on a boat. They're in cars screaming around a track at pretty much 200 miles an hour. So a little bit different, but
They'll be feeling like they're on a boat at the beginning of the race shortly.
yeah, especially when it's wet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When it's wet, they're going to feel like they're definitely piloting a boat. But currently as it stands, you're going to have Lemon charging down. Actually, Martin G is quite the way back here. I don't know whether or not they just backed off to give each other enough space. Yonti's retired, so P12 is where he's going to sit at best. Nicky's gone P2, remember? 142.664. But these are the ones we're keeping our very firm eyes on, as Lemon's going to be crossing the line first. He's got his teammate in the background. There he is. Lemon goes P3. Martin G crosses the line and stays P4. Copy could not improve and stays P8 and actually gets knocked down there. I think Beaker just shot up the order.
Yep, Copy's P9.
I mean, Nickton managed to still hold on to pole position, which is just incredible. He did that earlier on in the session. It makes me only just wonder what time he could have delivered had he actually done the same thing again, but with Copy giving him the tow. But it's unfortunate that it didn't work out as well as Copy would have anticipated. But look at the times on the screen. So Nickton takes pole, 142.393. Nicky P2, Lemon P3, Marta G P4, to Mercedes on the second row of the grid. Boemel's there, P5, Mizzo P6, Beaker P7, Maester P8, Copy P9. Yawn rounds out the top 10. And then if you look, you have to go all the way down to P15, so just be just outside of the 1 second window. And if you look at the gaps overall, 6/10 is the gap from P1, and that's all the way down to P11. We are talking about some of the closest racing you're going to see in F1. Alright, this time, no one glitch out, okay? No one's allowed to glitch out. We'll issue groundings for anybody who glitches out, okay?
Yep.
I think that's fair. I think that's as fair as we can be about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who glitches out gets grounded.
Yep.
They got tied in the bedroom.
Yep. They gotta sit on
Come
the
on,
naughty
G.
step.
Yeah, noticed that.
Straight there. Not even debatable.
Can't get excited just yet. We have to wait for all drivers to be able to start away at the end of the before, as soon as this loading screen's done and they've chosen the strategies and whatnot. Well, I mean, Lemon is still bouncing. Look, I don't know what it is about that P3 spot on this track. Although Nickton's kind of joining him a little bit as well. You can see that, right, Kai? That's not just me that's seeing that.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Lemon's still having a grand old time.
I see it.
Okay. Come on. Has Lemon been... So Lemon, it was the one who had the issues last race? Last restart?
Unfortunately.
Come on, everybody. Ready up. Lemon's readied up this time, so it looks like he's not going to be the one causing the problem. Marco, Bird, Brownie, Rainbow. I think we're away. We're away. All right, finally, we have got this one underway. We have got the Belgium Grand Prix ready to go. Apologies for all the technical difficulties. It's not anything that we have in our control. It's entirely just bugs and stuff that we've experienced so far. But let's just take a fair look at the driver situations. For those of you who missed out, Nickton nailed it in qualifying. He even sacrificed his fastest run with a track that's in the most optimal position, he let Copy have the toe and backed out and retired, but he still qualified P1 by quite a few tenths.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing to remember is obviously it is going to be a wet start. Obviously, you can see that we've got intermediate tires on right now for all the cars, but it is going to dry out around about halfway through this race. So the thing that we need to think about, the thing that drivers need to worry about, is that there's an individual person that is on a wet setup. That's Brownie. He's chosen the wet setup. He will start this Grand Prix, and he will have to nail it from the word go. But if he hasn't done so by the time it starts drying out, then Brownie's going to start falling off and start dropping down quite a way. I am told it's going to be halfway through the race that we're going to see that transition start. So, you know, that in itself is enough of a sort of, okay, oops, he needs to figure out something pretty rapidly. Do you still stand by that Brownie can make it to P3?
I'll stand by it. I've said it. I've already said that he'd be there. So I'm not going to take my word off of it. But Ben, with these restarts, Brownie could have switched from a wet to a dry setup.
Well, it is against the rules. It is possible he could have done that. But we are finally going to get underway. So, I mean, it is I hope Brownie hasn't done that. I don't think Brownie would do that. He's quite a loyal person, honest person anyway, so I don't think he would have done that. But here we go now. Through the final few corners, the formation lap is about to finish. Bird is going to be the last one to it. He's quite the way back. I think he's trying to properly warm his tyres up more than usual. I'm looking at his dash, trying to get an insight into just how warm his tyres are, and they are hovering around the 81s in the degrees, and the temperature is actually a bit lower than that now, 70s. So it might actually be not quite as warm as he wanted.
Yeah, Hammer Time does say that Brownie has got the same setup.
So it's time. It's time. Bennington leading us away at the beginning of this Grand Prix. It's do or die moment for him. Are we going to get the start of champions for Nicky, or is it going to be issues into turn one as the lights go out and it's starting to get underway with the Belgium Grand Prix? And Nickturn gets a good start immediately. Nicky's, though, trying to get alongside, but not quite good enough. You're going to see Lemon and Martin G. Lots of movement going on. There's desync that we were reported about earlier. It's the two Mercedes that can't see each other. So if you start seeing a car go flying up in the air, then don't worry about it as it stands. But there's no issues so far as we come up towards Eau Rouge. It's going to be side by side. No, there's a Renault. That's Buemels. But he's kept it together. I don't know how he called that one, but he's actually lost out to Mizzo. Mizzo just slid on past now. Meister getting onto the back of him as well, looking to get the slipstream. Anto all the way down in towards Lake Coombe. Is he going to be able to get around the outside? I think the answer is going to be a firm no. But we do have all cars still going. He's got three wide, actually. Racebug, Blue, and Bird actually going three wide, but they've backed out. Blue's got the inside line. He's going to hold it together just about rightly, and he does. So that's Blue now up in a P17. Good stuff from him. No cars DNF'd on the first lap so far.
Yeah, and Brownie's going to have to get a shift on because he's only up one place into 12th.
Yeah, he's not quite had the start that he was hoping for, but it's not over yet. It's obviously still tons of times for him to be able to properly push and actually get himself up a position or two. Almost running a little bit wide there, not quite how he wanted through Puon, but he's kept it still together. No major issues. There's two Mercedes are still desynced for each other, so you will see them like this currently mounting each other. It doesn't mean anything to them from their perspective. They can't see each other. They're not affected. But those that are racing around them can see both of them. And so they can even see the same stuff we can see. A little bit distracting if you're Mizzo. Nicky, you won't have to worry about it too much because they're behind you. And whilst you do look behind, it's still going to be... Okay, let's actually look. Marco's retired.
So it is currently Nickton from Nicky, Martin G, Lemon, and Mizzo rounding out the top 5. Wemmels has dropped down to 6th. Meister is up to 7th. Beaker has unfortunately dropped down to 8th. Then it is Brownie up into 9th. So he is getting further up. But will he get close enough up to the top to still get that podium? It's looking less and less likely.
It seems that way, at least. Yeah, I am now back in, so thank you for that rundown very quickly. Yeah, Nick Turn leading the session still, and he does have Nicky very quickly staying on the back of him, actually. Martin G is there as well. I think they're still desynced, right? I think it's still 3 and 4 desynced, so they can't see each other, but obviously the others around them can. We have lost a driver. It was Marco. It did have contact, I believe, with Racebug, who's had to pit, gone to fresh inters, fresh inters and fresh wing to go with it, so he's going to have a nightmare to bring himself back up to this, but he can still pull it back if you think about it. He may still have an opportunity to recover. We are lap 3. We won't have DRS. The track is just too wet for that. The race director will not be putting it back on, but that is actually the crucial thing to look out for. When the rain stops, which is currently not that far away, it looks like, because I mean, I'm looking at the driver's halos and I'm not seeing any spots of rain there. There's no dry line that's forming yet. Mind G's made a mistake here. Lemon is going to be coming up to them as well. It's a second now gap between him and Nicky. Remember, they are desynced, so no change is going to happen there. But Nicky is closing in on race leader. I think he might have him when we come to the end of the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, I think he will. And the thing is, between these two drivers, will they get DRS on each other, the two Mercedes drivers? Because they are desynced, though.
Oh, 1 second. Nicky's got a 3-second time penalty. The sector 1 yellow flag. Who is that? Is that Bird? Oh, it looks like Bird. Yeah, he made a mistake there. Coming out of turn 1. He hasn't hit the wall, but he has had a big rotation. So he's had to recover that. There was penalty being given for Nicky, a penalty being given for Jon. In answer to your question, I don't believe they do get that because it's client side. So I don't think they have DRS or slipstream from each other. They're purely going to be just pushing where they can and battling with those cars around. I think we might be seeing, because that rain stopped now. There's no more rain. It's just that the track is still too damp. Look, you can see the spray's coming up. But when we see the DRS being enabled, that's the point where you need to be in the pits, right? And this track is such a long track that if you try and go another lap on the inters just to be safe, you will lose out massively. So you have to take the gamble. You can't afford to be late on it. And that's the decision these guys are going to have to face.
Yeah, and I think end of lap 5, lap 6 is going to be the pit window.
We could see drivers going to the hards to take themselves to the end of the race. I think ultimately you're looking at the sort of the likes of, mind G, 3-second time penalty. A little battle going on between Buemels and Brownie. Brownie, who now realizes, whoa, okay, we're in trouble because the line is starting to get dry. The track is starting to dry out as well. And I'm still on a wet setup. I don't know what we could do here, except just what we are doing. Ultimately, we've got issues. Gooby's made a big off there. That's massive rotation. Wing damage on the left-hand side. He's got elements missing. He's got end plates missing. He is going to be really in trouble. His teammate is actually battling with Copy. He's gone deep there. And actually, we've got a driver in the pits already. That's Buemels. Is he going to be going for the dry setup? We'll have to find out, but keep an eye as Yonti is closing up to the back. He's actually gone past them. They're going to be 3 wide in towards turn 1.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting. We see they're 3 wide. They do get through cleanly, but I think that's Martin G who's made a mistake off the corner, and that does mean Lemon goes up in a 3rd and Mizzo up in a 4th.
And we have got the first dry tyre being put on. It's Buemels who's decided now is the right time. And I think he's going to be about halfway around the track before we see the DRS being re-enabled. Just chilling, and Blue having a little bit of a little battle going on as well further back. Yotta's coming in on Copy. Here we go into Lake Coombe. He's going to take the inside line, but he's not going to get it. Copy stays P9. Yotta is trying to size him up still. He has to worry about the cars around him because Yonti is coming on him as well. You got Jon chasing him down too. This could change at the drop of a hat. More drivers coming in for the dry tyres.
Yeah, and it looks like they currently are slower as we see. Yep, Buemels, it was 14.8, and within 2 or 3 seconds he's lost 3 tenths to the car in front. Now it is 8 tenths, so definitely the wrong tyre at the wrong time.
But if it changes in a few seconds, there it is. So that's the DRS enable line. So this is where they should really start to come into their own. Okay, but you have to look at the area of the track that leader is in, because that's ultimately the gauge you're going to be working out. He has still gained a lot from this. He's going to start when the tyres warm up. He's going to be rapid. Oh, we've lost Brownie. We've lost Brownie. He's gone off into the wall. That's a big crash on the left-hand side. His front left is completely dead. He is out of this Grand Prix. Yellow flag, no safety car as it stands, and that's your P3 prediction in the bin, or in the wall, literally. Beaker's under threat from Copy, who's really hunting him down. It's going to be a sprint into the pit lane. Beaker's been given a whole free pit stop because he would have been double stacked. Ultimately, they are coming in together. They're going to be side by side coming in for it. Oh, I think Beaker's maybe caught out. He has. He's been hitting the wall. And he's just getting shunned. And he's disqualified. He's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Blue stopped to make sure he didn't hit into him. Bird has been given a 5-second penalty as well for colliding with Blue, albeit very gently. And Buemels is going to be double stacking as well. Oh no, he's not double stacking because he's on the mediums. His tyres. This whole situation has just gone out of kilter.
Yeah, and Martin G got double stacked as well. And we have a safety car. I'm gonna say that wasn't Beaker's fault.
Well, I mean, I agree. I don't think the disqualification was fair, ultimately. But at the same time, you know, the situation you have to think about is they were both scrapping to go into a very tight pit entry. One of them had to give. Beaker realised I should probably give, but it was already too late at that point. You know, and he then went off into the wall, and at that point he couldn't move. As soon as he got to the wall, he physically couldn't move. So I think that a disqualification is unfair, but at the same time, he should really have backed out. He kind of knew that he was never going to make that, and I think he should have backed out earlier. I think he was hoping that I can't remember who it was he was battling with. I think it was Copy, wasn't it? I think he was hoping that Copy was going to back out earlier, but no. In fact, it ended up being the other way around. But Buemels went for the early pit stop. Remember, he was the one who decided it was go time for him. He jumped in, and he hasn't really gained anything. He's P11 now. Safety car did ruin that for him, but it does save those that are further ahead. Martin G's lost out massively. He's only now coming into the pits. He's now P17 after that situation.
Well, what happened was Martin G got double stacked, and then he's came into the pits, got double stacked, and now he's glitched in the pits.
Is he still stuck there?
Yep.
Oh, he is. Oh, no. Oh, he's out. There he is.
Hey.
So Martin G is free. He will be able to catch them up. That's the one thing you can rest assured on. He will be able to catch them up, but he will be starting from all the way at the back of the grid. Now this would be the comeback story of champions if he could pull this off. There's the safety car that he's just gone past there. He's been allowed to chase after the pack. The safety car's not moving currently. Race leader is currently on the home straight, so there is absolutely an opportunity for Martin G to bring himself into this again. I mean, you saw in Germany what Martin G is capable of when he starts so far down. If I remember correctly, he was P14 when he started the German Grand Prix, and he brought it really very quickly up the order to get onto P4 at the end of the race. I would love to see him do it again. I'd love to see the miracle run where he pulls himself back to the podium. I think it might be a little bit too much to ask. I think it might be just too far for him to push it, but we will have to see.
Yeah. How many positions do you think Martin G will be able to make up? He's currently sitting last on road, 17th. I'm gonna say he'll be 10th, around 10th to 15th position by the end of the race.
I mean, it's gonna be hard, but this is a track that does fully promote overtaking. Obviously, you're gonna have a lot of DRS, you're gonna have a lot of slipstream, you're gonna have a lot of opportunities to just flick that rear wing wide open and just nail it. So I think, yeah, absolutely. I think Martin G could bring it in and get some points almost definitely. Especially with the fact that he hasn't got any penalties currently. So there's no, there's nothing holding him back there. And there's a few drivers like Jorn, for example, who does have one. And yes, Bird's got one, but I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be removed because it was a very gentle touch and there was not really much more he could do about the situation. If he gets on the podium, I will be blown away by his pace and performance. In fact, I want to quickly go on board with my G, who's absolutely tearing it. The good news is, and this is actually going to work out brilliantly for Martin G, his tyres will be in the perfect temperature. He'll be so ready to attack the entire Grand Prix and just nail it around, right? The difficulty he's going to have is he still has a long way to go to catch up to the rest of the pack. He's currently, partway through Sector 2. The rest of the drivers are now on Sector 3, as in Racebook, who's the next car ahead, who's also a way bit off the back of the pack. He's trying to close in. Martin G, I mean, he needs to just... he knows it. He's gone for mode 3. He keeps turning his ERS back down, but he needs to just go because the safety car is going to come in. I think one more lap to go. He should be able to bring himself back into this. I'm amazed. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and this has been a long Grand Prix already. It's been about 15-20 minutes and we've only done 8 laps of it.
Yeah. 35.8 seconds, 35.5. He's just closing in at a rapid rate because he has to. Let's see where race leader is right now. He's going up Eau Rouge Radiant. So the chase is still going very strong here for Martin G. I mean, like I said, his tyre situation is going to be brilliant. He's going to be so happy in terms of the tyre grip. So when the race, if he can close up to the pack, by the time we get underway again with the restart, he will be in prime position to just nail it past everyone when it comes to the Camel Straight. I think this is going to be the final lap that we see with the safety car out. So he has to still keep his motors really going for it. Racebug, he's actually just at the end of the Camel Straight. This is great. Martin G will catch up.
Yeah, Martin G is going to be able to make it.
I actually, you know what? I think the comeback story is about to begin.
Yeah, definitely.
We called Germany the Martin G showreel. This might be the twilight. He might be the Edward Cullen to my Bella Swan in this Grand Prix.
He might possibly be.
I am... My fingers, my toes, everything is crossed. I think he'll do it. I think he's going to do this. I think he might actually get onto the top 4. I think he might get P4 again. There's the back of the grid. I've just seen him. There's Racebug just ahead. He now knows the situation he's in. And that's why you've seen him going easy now, because he's actually done everything. There it is. This is it. Martin G will actually be able to do it. Safety car is in this lap, so I called that one perfectly. This is great news now. And Nick Turn, I mean, he is looking set to take the race win, but now he has to focus so hard on this restart because he is fully in control of how this Grand Prix gets back underway again.
Yeah.
Martin Nixon, deliver. I want to see you take off at the start. I also want to see the cleanest race you've ever had, where you get 0 penalties and still get the race win. But here he is now, the bus stop chicane. We all know where he's going to go for it. He's decided now's the time. Off he goes. Nicky's going to be chasing him as well. Nicky's got the acceleration pinned. Nixon didn't gain anything. We're going to see race leaders change. No. Martin G gets a penalty. That's a 5 second for just cutting the track a little bit too much. I think he cut the inside. He's going to be... I think he's frustrated with himself on that one, but he shouldn't give in because this is still going for him. He still has the opportunity to, but Nicky all over the back of the race leader coming up towards Eau Rouge now, and Nick Turn's going to be in big trouble because he has not got the acceleration he needed. Nicky on harder tyres. He's going to be really going for it now, looking for the inside in towards Lake Umi. He has to back out, and Nick Turn is just too much faster than him. Is he going to send it? No, he's not. And Nick Turn holds on. Mizzo, Yonti swap places. Nicky, Lemon swap places. Scrapping side by side. Nicky gets sideways, goes into the side of Lemon, but no damage on either car, and Lemon takes P2.
Yeah, that was great racing from those guys. Will the mediums make it to the end of the race? Do you think they will, Ben?
I don't think so. I think those on the hards will be in a great position, but when their tyres reach the end of their life, which is going to be about 3 laps before the end, I think they are going to be in a scenario where it's just a bit too hard to do. Yolta's ran wide. He gets a penalty as a result of that. He just took a really bad entry into that corner, and that's cost him a fair bit. Martin G, though, look at him. Already on the back of Racebug. He's going to be pushing hard. He's going for the move. He doesn't know where to go because Racebug is all over. He's trying to go down the inside now. This is going to be a tie when he's ran a little bit deep into the corner, but he's going to go around the outside on the left-hander, and he has to back out, but he could actually go for it. Straight into the inside. Yes, he has. Martin G starts his comeback story. 1 position gained. Many more to go.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see this driver making his way through the field. We know that he's very quick. We know he has the pace, and we know he's going to make many more positions.
He is indeed. Look at Bird. He's really trying to go around the outside through bus stop chicane. Has to brake hard, make sure he doesn't get into the side of Blue. He almost got that one nailed, but he didn't quite pull it off. And Nickton, on the second lap of the restart, has actually managed to bring himself into this. Here comes Rainbow down the inside of Bird. The two sister Red Bulls going to be scrapping side by side through turn one. Bird gets a better exit than Rainbow, but now Rainbow has 2 cars worth of slipstream. No DRS just yet. That'll be on the next lap. And it's going to be Bird hunting down Blue.
Yeah, and we do have people saying that the mediums will be able to last to the end of the race if they do. If people are good on their tyres and they still keep a good distance to the people on the hards, the mediums will be the best strategy right now.
Oh, Blue, sorry, just went a bit deep into the corner. He gave way too much room there to Bird. I think he expected Bird to full on send it, and Bird didn't need to. He just backed off a little bit, let them go for it, and that's what caused that to happen. Little changeroo there. Does mean that we are going to be seeing Blue fall to P13. A little bit of mistake there from Bird. Blue can't capitalise on it, so no position changes, but somebody is going for the capitalisation. Here's Rainbow into Puon, goes down the inside, a little bit wheel-to-wheel nudge there. That's actually sent Blue really far off track there. He's lost another place. Gooby just slips on by, and also Martin G getting another position. He's working his way up, the little touch there between Blue and Martin G, but Martin G was unfazed. Blue lost out a lot just from those first 2 corners. Those few corners there, sorry.
Ooh, Martin G getting very close to the back of Gooby. And I think we saw Blue having to avoid. Let's see if Martin G is able to do it into the bus stop chicane. He's in mode 4 ERS. He is attack mode all the way. He is in rich. And is he going to send a lunge into the bus stop chicane? He's having a little look, and it looks like he's going to go for it. It's going to be very tight between the two of them. Has he made it stick? Yes, he has. 1 down, and then there goes Rainbow. Martin G is going to be hunting him down.
Yeah, and he has DRS. Rainbow does not. He's 1.1 seconds just teetering on the edge. Rainbow needs DRS in order to be able to capitalise and keep his position, but I don't think he's going to get it in time. 1.2, no he's not. So Martin G, who is not yet going to be able to attack on this Kemmel straight at least, but will still be able to give it everything he can. Mizzo, Yolta, side by side, coming up towards it, although Yolta's managed to get his car fully ahead, so the hard tyres there for Mizzo not coming to life just yet, but it is not over, remember. The tyre life for the mediums will fall off. I know that people think they might make it. I don't personally think they can, but we will see. And it also depends on the setup, and it also depends on the driver's management of tyres.
Yeah, especially Nicky puts up a 3-second penalty, so I think that's his second one this race already, isn't it?
I think it might be enough. I think you might be right. Copy, trying to close in on Mizzo. Mizzo closing on Yolta. We've got a lovely train going on from P4 onwards, right the way down to P11, which actually ends with Buemels. Is looking pretty spicy. You got Martin G actually closing in on Rainbow again, and he's currently charging his ERS because he knows that, yes, he's got to push hard, but he also has to maintain the ERS levels. Oh, big wobble there from Martin G, but he's caught it. It's all right, nothing to worry about. It's all part of his normal routine through that corner. I've seen him do that. That's the first time, but he's still pushing regardless.
Yeah, he's still chasing down the drivers in front. You can see he's eager for more, and that's what he is going to get if he keeps this up.
Jon looking for Copy, almost actually ran deep into the back of Copy, but realised he's going to have to move just about. So again, the train is getting pretty tight indeed. Bird might be able to close in, although he's just lost 2/10 in that very brief interval there. Jon staying close. Are we going to see a change between Yonti and Meester? Meester obviously P4. Yonti, 3/10, actually has got the opportunity to go for this now. He's already in mode 4. He's got the slipstream fully locked in. He's got DRS wing wide open. There it is. A beautiful, smooth overtake in the Kemmel Straight. Has managed to get himself fully ahead. There's also changes going on as Mizzo and Copy are going side by side into Lekum. That's Copy down the inside. Mizzo falling down to P8. Copy doing well. Martin G takes Rainbow.
Yep. That was a beautiful move. Just executed it perfectly. And now with a 2-second gap to Bird in front, he's going to be chasing down that gap, trying to be as quick as possible.
Rainbow's trying to get on Martin G again. Martin G maybe getting a little bit too complacent with Rainbow there. I think he was thinking, okay, well, I've done that one. I can just worry about the driver ahead now. And then suddenly Rainbow goes, nope, you can't forget me. I'm right here, and I'm not going to let you just run away with this now. This is my opportunity to slipstream you and follow you all the way around. but it's not working out for him just yet. 3/10 is the gap. No need for an overtaking opportunity until you get to another DRS zone, or slipstream at least, which is going to be the run up towards Blanchimont. It's a little bit on the curb there, but keeping it tidy enough. The gap's starting to slowly spread out a touch. Are we going to see anything further from the drivers? Oh, Yolta closing in on Meister.
Yeah, he's really closing in. And I think we will see a move soon from Yolta, as he does have the DRS on the straight. I think he's just putting Meister in a position where he's applying so much pressure that he is close to making a mistake.
Mizzo under threat again. He's feeling the pressure now. Oh, Jon and Mizzo have a bit of contact there. Actually, Mizzo got very shaky there throughout. Jon's going to be on the inside now of this, and he's got the exit he needs, but they are still wheel to wheel, still chasing each other, but Jon's got a better exit. Just chilling on the back of both of these two drivers as well. He's going to be prepping his attack on both of them. Jon will not have DRS.
Nope. I'm gonna go fucking annihilated here.
Oh, I just saw it.
Alright, in case you're wondering, Marco's retired. Right, we're back. Any changes that I need to be aware of?
Apart from Buemmels and Jon having a bit of a scrap, now.
Martin G's almost back into the points already. P12. That's, you know, Martin G is really committed to doing this, and that's brilliant that he's able to do it. Martin G is, just chilling, is having a really good race. I think, if I remember correctly then, so Jon lost out 2 places due to just chilling and Mizzo on the Kemmel Straight, pushing really hard. We saw Jonty manage to get himself up onto the podium step, at least the 3rd step of that, and he's currently sitting pretty as it stands. I don't have the gaps at the minute, so I'll have to wait until they all cross the line. That's when it'll reset. So Lemon is 666, 0.666 behind. Jonty is 2.3, it looks like, as they cross the line. Yep, 2.3. Nicky 0.9. Yolta 1.3. Yolta's actually one of the best results he's had in the RNL for a while, actually. So it's good stuff from him. Mizzo right there on the back of just chilling. He needs the DRS opportunity now to be able to sort of watch himself from the back of Jon. Jon got a really good exit out of turn 1 last time we saw him here with battling with Mizzo. This time it's not as great. It's still 4/10. He's still going to be in a prime attacking position, but with Mizzo having DRS as well, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pass here.
No, I don't think Mizzo's able to make a move, and neither is Jon behind.
Jon sent it. He had a bit of contact there with Mizzo. He sent it, trying to get the move done. He actually ended up losing out quite considerably there. His tyre wear would have had a fair bit of a hit as well. Martin G in between the two. He's looking for Buemmels whilst Rainbow's attacking as well. Rainbow has got damage, I believe. I mean, I can't see it, but I'm told he's missing an end plate. I don't see it myself personally. Buemmels getting a 3-second time penalty. That will be music to Martin G's ears as it stands, but remember, he has that 5-second penalty for earlier. Bird and Blue scrapping one more time in the lead up towards Puon. It looks like Bird has got the inside this time, and Blue, whilst Bird runs a little bit wide, Blue got a tyre line. Not quite severe there for Bird. He's just fine, running away with it okay. P14 as it stands, but still 7.5 seconds separates the car ahead, which is Rainbow, and Martin G still all over the back of Buemmels.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing. Martin G is struggling to make an overtake on Buemmels.
Bird!
To make it this lap.
Sorry, Bird made a big mistake. Look, he's staying out of the way of the track because Gooby's coming round. But yeah, Bird, I think he just got a bit too excited and lost the car. He's still got full wing, but yeah, he's definitely way down the order now. Martin G, though, looking for an opportunity on Buemmels. Coming out of turn 1, he needs to get the slingshot that he needs, but he also can't do it before the DRS straight, because if he wants to be able to close the gap on Jon, which is currently set at 2 seconds between him and Buemmels, then he has to make sure he gets this DRS zone and the move done. Here he comes.
This should be an easy overtake from Martin G on the straight, but Buemmels is determined not to let him pass.
Well, also, Martin G's in trouble because Rainbow was actually trying to get involved in that situation as well. Buemmels made a mistake. He's ran deep now. Here comes Martin G, but he just can't find a way through. Couldn't take the outside line. We've lost Bird He's retired in the pits, I think. Oh, my G! Almost goes into the back of the Renault. Keeps himself just outside of it. No wing damage for him. No contact for him. But still no position gain for him. Oh, no. Another penalty. Martin G. 3-second time penalty again. So 8 seconds is that one for him. He's ran deep there. That'll definitely be a warning for him. Martin G's recovery is looking very, very rough. But if you remember back to a particular Canadian Grand Prix with a certain Jensen Button who had similar scenarios where he had to take so many trips to the pits and managed to still bring himself back to take the win. It was a mess of a race from him, but he still brought it back, and that's what we could see here from Martin G. He's had a bit of a mess. He's had issues. One of the main issues he had wasn't even his fault. And he's already sizing Wemmels up this time. Look at the pace he's chucking down right now. He's going to have to take the outside in towards the bus stop. This is going to be a tough line to do. I know that you can do it, but yeah, he's ran deep there. He's got his nose in. A little bit of contact between the two. That's actually sent Wemmels right off the track there. Here comes Rainbow as a result, just sliding on through. Don't think Wemmels got damaged, but he definitely got caught out by that. Stabilize his car, and now we'll have to try and pull something back further up.
Yeah, but Martin G, he is probably going to be overtaken on this straight because of the DRS from the drivers behind, which is Rainbow and Buemos. They'll be putting pressure onto the back of him. So he does have double trouble behind. Will Rainbow be able to make an overtake? He has to go to the outside. But he does back out. He tries to go to the inside, backs out. And Buemos! That was a bit of a dive bomb, I may say. Sends himself further on. And I did see some carbon fiber, but from which car was it?
So I think what happened was Rainbow looked to try and get around the outside of Martin G and made a mistake, went into the side of Buemos and then broke really hard. So Buemos ran into the back of him. That's what caused Buemos' damage. Then Buemos was just trying to catch the car, it looked like. And then as a result of that, went into the side of Rainbow. So Buemos' race is pretty much over now. There's no way that he's going to be able to pull this back in the remaining 5 laps that we have. Martin G not yet in a position where he can gain more than what he's got currently, but 3.4 seconds is the gap between him and Jorn. If he can maintain pace and get a good, solid few laps in, he might be able to close in on Jorn. And then look at that. It's the gap starts to close down a bit further as you go further up the field. Mizzo trying to hold on to the back of Just Chillin'. And this is going to be a spicy one throughout the rest of this Grand Prix, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. That's Buemos' race. Out the window, he has major wing damage. He's going to have to pit. I think he's going to go on the softs and try and push as hard as possible.
It's potentially a thing that can happen. The mediums will start to drop off in a couple of laps. I think by the time we hit lap 20, the mediums will start to fall apart. I'm not sure whether or not we're going to see any pit stops as a result of that. Obviously, we're seeing Gooby come in and pit and go onto the soft tyres. Don't think he needs to do anything more than what he's doing currently. Racebook gets a penalty, and you can see Copy getting onto the back of Meister. Meister trying to shake him. Can't do anything about it. Look how quick Copy is coming into the back of Yolta. Might have to scrap all the way through the corners. It's going to be a side-by-side battle through the inside. He gets him just about. A little bit of contact between the two. Meister just ghosts and still somehow holds Copy back.
Yeah, but Nickton and Lemon back. Will Lemon be able to overtake Nickton before the end of the race?
I'm not sure as it stands. I mean, Lemon has got the pace. He's got a lot of ERS, but ultimately, Nickton is also in the same position. He's not really using it. I mean, Lemon's mode 3 right now, and Nickton's mode 0 right now. He's not even trying to do anything about just pulling away. He doesn't have to necessarily. He's got the raw pace to do what he's doing currently and maintain P1. The issue Lemon has to think about is the timing of his attack. Because obviously there's a lot of run here. Even if you pass on the Camel Straight on the final lap, and Nickton can come back at you right here in Blanchimont and go for an attack into the final chicane. So, you know, your attack has to be as good as your defense. If you're going to pass, great. But you cannot let him come back as you come through Blanchimont.
Yeah, and I think Lemon's been doing this perfectly. Both of them have quite high ERS. But it looks like Lemon's just using the ERS, staying behind him. But Nickton is very quick in a straight line. I don't know why that is. He might just be pushing it down the straights. It doesn't look like it. He's running free on the ERS. And Nickton, Lemon's hardly catching. So I think it might have something to do with the setup.
Potentially, look at Copy this time. Yep, there's no hole in that back. Meister is a sitting duck, and away Copy goes. This time much smoother than we saw last lap round. And Copy is in a P5 now. Meister's not fallen away completely though. Does have those hard tyres in a great position, and I think he will start to gain pace over the other cars ahead of him. But ultimately, the gap between them is just a bit too extensive. He could potentially get onto a P4. But either way, Meister, who's currently sat outside of the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship, will be looking to secure as many points as possible right now, just so he can bring himself into it and make sure he's got a seat for the next season of the Rwagnation League.
Yep, and it will be very interesting to see these guys battling it out for these positions in the RNL, because obviously a couple of seats, is it 5 or 10 seats are open at the end of the season, and
10.
Is it? Yep, 10. 10 seats are open at the end of the season, and I'm pretty sure you want to stay in this league.
Well, this is the thing. Yeah, the top 10 drivers get to stay into the next season. They all immediately get an invite. Those outside of the top 10, they have to fight for their position if they want to stay in this, and that's why the drivers that are outside of the top 10 currently have to focus every single race on securing as many points as possible, because you can easily bring it back. I mean, the area around P10 is currently sat around 30 odd points, right? So that's a race win, and then like a P2. That can easily bring you back into this. Not necessarily saying that you necessarily going to have the pace to do that, but you only need one race to just go perfectly well, and you can get those vital points needed to bring yourself into the top 10. Currently, though, we are on lap 20 of 22, and we can see that Lemon is still chasing a Nickton for race lead position, but we can also see that Lemon is still not yet pushing. I think on the next lap is probably when we're going to see Lemon turn everything up and go for it the full beans. Mizzo and Yawn having another battle. This time, Yawn is going to lose out, but a lot cleaner. Not quite going to gain anything out of it, but he's still round the back of the McLaren. The McLaren is actually gaining quite quickly onto the back of Just Chilling. His tyres have started to fall away now. I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to maintain the pace throughout the remainder of this race. P7 is a great result if he can hold on to it, but he could potentially be losing down to P9. May end up finishing the race P10, although Martin G does have a lot of penalties, so he may be clear in that respect.
Yeah, and that's very interesting to see. You said Martin G might have a lot of penalties, currently in P10. We know he has that 5-second penalty, but does he have any more?
So Martin G's got at least another 3 seconds that I'm aware of for running deep in towards Puon, which is obviously not good for him. So 8 seconds is his current situation. I think he may actually lose out overall. I don't think he's actually going to be able to get any points unless he can find a way to break that gap even further between him and Rainbow. Now, Rainbow, we know, has been having issues overall. Lemon sets the fastest lap, so pink on the board, purple even on the board for him. 146.221 is where he's currently sat. And now, like I said, this is Lemon turning the wick up to 11. He knows how crucial this is for him. He wants this race win. With the second to last lap, he's turned everything onto full. Look at mode 4. Look at the slipstream he's utilising right now. He's got the DRS ring wide open as a result. And Nickton realises the pressure he's under, which is why he's holding the line seriously tight in towards Lake Kuman. Here comes Lemon down the inside. As they come out of it, and Nickton will hold the race lead, and Lemon will have to wait. Your turn. Copy swap places. Copy in P4. This is good stuff from him. I think the mediums, though, are starting to fall away. I think we might see Meister close up on this soon.
Yeah, we might see Meister closing up onto the back of him, but we were talking about 11 before, and that's the amount of seconds of penalties that Martin G has.
Yeah. As it stands, though, I don't think Martin G's got enough pace right now to be able to break the gap between him and Rainbow unless Rainbow has a major mistake. I mean, it's 5.4 seconds. The times have been still expanding a decent amount, although it's just suddenly dropped a little bit. But Martin G does have the natural pace to do it. He's actually closing in on Yawn quite considerably. Look at that, 2.9 now. It was like 3.5, I think, a lap or two ago. So good that he's able to still maintain the amount of pressure he has. But Just Chilling is the one who's feeling the pressure more than anyone else right now. Well, maybe not as much as that Nick turn, as obviously he's got Lemon still hunting for him. They're coming up to the bus stop chicane now. We're about to start the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. We had a lot of issues at the start of it, but this time it's ran pretty smoothly for the most part, other than a few major issues that happened earlier. But Lemon, look how close he is to the back of it, Nickton. I don't think Nickton's going to have an answer to this. This is a push that we're going to be seeing all the way down the Camel Straight. 0.375 is the gap as they come up through Arusha and Radion. The gap is just going to crumble away now for a Nickton. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to this. I think he has, and Nickton's held on through the Camel Straight. He got the exit he needed. Now Lemon's in trouble. He has so little ERS to work with. I mean, and Nickton's in the same boat. He doesn't have much either, but there's no DRS now to use, so Lemon needs the ERS more than anyone else right now. I think a Nickton may have actually held on all the way through this Grand Prix.
That would be amazing, especially with him on the mediums. You were saying that they wouldn't make it, and that's a mistake from Lemon, which pretty much gives Nickton the win now.
6.5 tenths, 7 tenths. That gap is just extending. All he can do now is just push throughout the remainder of this sector. He has to give it the full beans or pray that Nickton makes a mistake in the final chicane. Lemon, 7 tenths just over is the gap in the final slipstream zone. I don't think he has anything he can possibly do about this, and Nickton is just too fast, but I may have severely underestimated it, Nickton. At the start of this Grand Prix, I predicted him P3 based on penalties. He has got the raw pace. He has delivered everything today. He got the pole position, even sacrificing his fastest lap, but it doesn't matter because he crosses the line and takes P1. Lemon will take P2. Yonti will cross the line and get the final position of the podium, with Copy across the line and getting P4. It's a great day to be Williams. Yolta will take P5, but lose out to Meister, who jumps him and takes P5. Just Chilling falls down the order and gets P9. And then Martin G gets P7 for now, but as Rainbow will slowly cross the line, has he breached the 8-second margin? He hasn't. So Martin G loses out on that final point position, and it's just an unfortunate race for Martin G. There's nothing that he could have done there. He gave everything to pull it back, and ultimately he doesn't gain any points. Blue crosses the line. Buemels, his teammate we saw earlier, had major contact with Rainbow. I don't know if Rainbow... In fact, Martin G might actually still get a point, to be honest, because Rainbow may get in trouble for that brake check that he did if it is deemed his fault. We may see a penalty issued to Rainbow as a result of that contact he had with Buemels. And then Racebook, who will be the next one to cross the line, is a bit further back, but still, he's had a number of issues throughout this race. Not all his fault either, but he's still committed to deliver a finishing lap. 22 laps he's done for him. It's been an interesting Grand Prix to say the least.
Yeah, a very interesting Grand Prix. And driver of the day, who would you go for, Ben?
Oh, that's a call and a half. I mean, Yonti's claimed 9 places, so he's done a really good job to get P3. Ultimately, I think you'd have to be silly to look anywhere other than at Nickton. I mean, the guy sacrificed his fastest lap for his teammate in the end of qualifying just to make sure his teammate got a bit further up. I think the sportsmanship for that alone gets him driver of the day. You don't see anyone else do that for anyone else on the track, right? This guy is a whole different level of racer, not just physically on the track, but just in general. So absolutely top-notch stuff there from at Nickton. But now here is the rundown at the end of that Grand Prix. We are going to be seeing Nickton take the 25 points. Didn't get the fastest lap though. I believe that still sits with Lemon. Let me see. No, it was beaten by Copy actually. Oh, even better than that. Actually, Nicky got it. It was a 1:45.318, but he managed to hold back everyone else from getting the point because he won't get it either. So Nickton takes P1, Lemon takes P2, Yonti takes P3, Copy P4, Meister P5, Yolta P6, Mizzo P7, Yon P8, Just Chilling P9, and Rainbow rounds out the top 10, but will potentially lose that position as Martin G, who had a rough start, ended up pitting and then getting glitched, unfortunately, and was stuck in the pits for a very long time. Pulled off a miracle comeback to get where he did get. And then you got Nicky, Gooby, Blue, Buemels, Racebook, and then the DNFs were Bird, Brownie, Marco, and Beaker, who got disqualified. Don't think it was necessarily a fair disqualification, but that is the end of that Grand Prix. This game.
The